Welcome to Math with Mrs. Cox. We are beginning the My Math book. We are on Chapter 1, Lesson 1, Place Value Through the Millions. I am beginning on page 11. Okay, join me here. Place value. Before you start this lesson, I highly recommend going to Math Antics and watching their place value video. It's very informative for a quick touch-up on what place value is. All right, let's begin. Place value shows the value of digits in a number. In greater numbers, each group of 3 digits is separated by commas and is called a period. Okay, here are these commas, or the periods that separate them into groups of 3 digits. And we're going to also be referring to this handy-dandy little worksheet. You want to go ahead and take a minute and take a screenshot of that. We won't be playing with decimals in this chapter. You're going to mainly need the whole numbers. All right, let's begin. The distance from the Earth to the Sun is 92,955,793 miles. Use the place value chart to list the value of this digit. Well, we can the easiest thing to do is to start with the 3 and write it backwards so we fill in all of the spots. 3, 9, 7, 5, 5, 9, 9, 2. And you read it like this. Because it is in the 10, we're going to say 92 and then million. 92,955,793 miles. Now, this is the standard form of how to read this number. If we're going to list the expanded form, it would look like this. Expanded form. And how you get that is you take the first number, which is a 9, so you stick it right here. Then you times it by its value. So this would be 10 million. So we're going to put 10 with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 zeros. 1 with the 7 zeros behind it. So we would get 90 million. Wish I had that in my bank account. Next one, we have the 2, and it is in the 1 millions spot. So 2, we're going to times by 1 million, and 2 times 1 million, well, equals 2 million. You get the pattern now? Okay, here we go. We're going to try this one right here. We have 9 times 100,000, and that's going to equal, well, 9 times 1, we know equals 9. Then we just add the zeros. Ta-da! Next, we have the same story. 5 times 10,000. 10,000. So, 5 times 1 is 5. Then we just add the zeros. I think you're following the pattern here. 5 times 1,000. Well, yeah, you got it. 5,000. 7 times 100. 700. 9 times 10. 90. 3 times 1. 3. And if you were to line all these up and add them down, you would get this fabulous number right here, because each digit has a place value. A digit in the ones place or place value represents 10 times as much as it represents in the place to its right, and 1/10 of what it represents to its left. So for example, this number is 10 times as much the value as that number. And well, the place value is what we're talking about. So if we jump here, 10 times 10 is 100, right? And then if we take 100 times 10, we have 1,000, 1,000. We take 1,000 times 10, we have 10,000. 10,000 times 10 is 100,000. Then we go 10 times 1 equals, you get the picture. So you need to understand when you're moving to the left, they increase by 10, each place value. Now, if you're moving to the right, it's like you're dividing by 10. So for example, let's do something that we can understand easily. 100. Let's say we had a number in the hundreds spot. Well, if we go down, we can divide it by 10. So 100 divided by 10 equals tens. And it'll make more sense once we talk about decimals and have a decimal here, and we have tenths, hundredths, and thousandths over here. That's just a quick overview, and we're not going to dive into that today. So let's turn to the next page, which is page 12. Okay. Standard form is the number or the usual way to write the number of digits. So for example, that is standard form. Expanded form is of a number is the way of writing a number as the sum of the value of digits. So just like what we did over here, this is expanded form. If we write it the sum of all of these digits times all of their place values. So that's what this whole lesson is going to be about today. All right, let's move forward and get a move on up, shall we? All right, the human eye blinks an average of 5,500,000 times a year. Write this number in word form and expanded form. Word form is where we use these words to write it down. And you have this page that is in your homework folder, or you can take a quick screenshot in case you have any question on how to spell any of these numbers in word form. Fabulous. Let's begin. So first, let's begin with placing. We can go 1, 2, 3. Okay, I got those. I'm going to get these numbers. 1, 2, and then a 5. And then I'm going to put my 5 there. Okay, I've put a value to all my numbers. So that's what it looks like written out in standard form. Now we're going to write it in word form. So this 5 is in the millions spot. So I'm going to write 5,000,000, 500, even, and 1,000. It's in the thousands category, but it's in the hundreds spot, so the 100,000. So it's going to be 100,000. Now we write the number in expanded form, which is where we multiply it all out. So 5,000,000 is going to look like this. 5 times a million. 500,000 is going to look like this. 5 times 100,000. And in expanded form, that's what we get. So here we go. 5 times a million. Now, if you don't write very neatly, you will want to try your best for this lesson because they don't give you very much room and you need to be able to fit these numbers in all of these spaces. And this will be 5 times 100,000. Okay, 5,000,000 gives us that place value right there. 5 times 100,000, oh, forgot a 0, gives us that place value right there. All right, here we go. Write the value of the highlighted digit. So that digit right there, and remember, you can use this to help you that's in your book, or if you have taken a screenshot already, you can use this one right here. All right, so the value, we go over 1. So if I go over 1, it's in the tens spot. So my value of this digit is tens, but there's a 9 to it. So it's going to be 90. If I were to erase all of the numbers and I just wanted to know the value of that digit, it would be 90. Same story here. They want to know the value of that digit right there. Well, let's go over 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 spots. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 spots. 10,000s. So that's in the 10,000 spots, but it's worth 9. So if I were to erase all those numbers and just leave it here, this is what it would look like, my value. So that is my number I'm going to write. Circle the digits in the 10,000th spot. Okay, so 1s, 10s, hundreds, 1s, 10s, thousands. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 spots over. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 spots over. That 3 is in the 10,000th spot. If I were to write it on this, I'd put the 3 right there. All right, moving along. We're on page 13. This is where it's going to get kind of crazy. Write the value of the highlighted digit. Okay, so that's ones, tens, hundreds. Again, they want to know the value of that digit. And so we know that's in the hundredth spot, but it's worth, if we were to erase all the other numbers, it would be worth 600. Same story here. We have ones, tens, hundreds, 1,000s, 10,000s, 100,000. So that's worth 100,000, but there's a 3 on it. So if I were to erase all those numbers, I would have 300,000 left. All right, number 6, ones, tens, hundreds, thousands. So if I were to erase all the other numbers, I would have 9,000 is my value right there. All right, now here's where it gets kind of tricky. And to save time on the video, I went ahead and wrote these answers in. So feel free to push pause and make sure you get the correct spelling on the numbers, or remember you can use that to also help you with the spelling. Okay, here we go. Write each number in word form and expanded form. So each of these questions is going to need 2 answers. All right, here we go. Okay, here's our 5 million. Wrote it right here. Then I have the 900. And then I have a space, but I have a 1,000. Now I'm going to put a comma here, or it's because they have a commas right there. So 5,901,000. Okay, I've done all that, so I'm going to cover it with my finger. Then I have 452. 452. All right, I did that. Now I'm going to write it in expanded form. Expanded form is where, to make the 5 million, I take 5 times, well, a million. And to get the 9, I plus it, 9 plus 100,000, plus 1 times 1,000. Now I need to get this numbers. 4 times 100, 5 times 10 would equal 50, and 2 times 1 would give me the 2. There, I have expanded each of the numbers and given the algorithm to get each of those numbers. All right, don't worry, we'll work on another one. Number 8. 309 million. Well, 309 million. If you look on our handy dandy sheet, millions, 309 million would be fit in the millions. And please make sure that you put a comma right there. Alrighty, then we have 99,000, so that'll take care of 99,000. Now we're right here, 990. And then I put this little semicolon here to show that I'm going to work on the second part, the expanded form of the answer. So, to get 300 million, I times, 3 times 100 million. That'd be nice to have that much chocolate. Then I put a little plus sign here. Then we're going to do the 9 times a million. Then this 9 times 10,000 to give us that 9 right there. I'm going to cover up as we go. And then 9 times 1,000. Now we just have those 3 numbers left. So 9 times 100 will give me that place value. 9 times 10 would give me that place value. Okay, number 9. Write each number in standard form and word form. Again, they're asking for 2 answers. I know this seems like a lot of writing. It's really important you try to write as neatly as you can so you can fit it all onto your paper. This is one of those times where it pays to have a really good sharp pencil. Please feel free to push pause and write this down as the best you can. All right, here we go. Number 9. We have this number 83 million, 23,000, 7. Okay, here we go. 83 million, and we know that we need to go over the hundreds and the 100,000s into the millions, so 83 million, and then here's our 23, so I'm going to put a 0 here and put 23,000. Now it's asking for just a regular old 7, so I have to put some placeholders in, so I'll put a 0s here for a regular old 7. All right, now we're going to do the expanded form. 8 times 10 million. 3, because we got to get that 3 there, times a million. Then we have to add. To get that 2 there, we need to times it by 10,000. So 2 times 10,000. Now we need this 3. 3 times 1,000. And then to get that lonely little 7, we need to do 7 times 1. And that should give us the expanded form. Whew. Hang in there, guys. You've got this. We're about done with this page. All right, number 10. You can slide it over like that. 304,800,400. Okay, break it up into little chunks. Let's just talk about 304 million. So I know that 304 looks like that, and million's going to have 6 spots behind it. So 304 is wrote down. We got that taken care of. Now we have 800,000. Well, I can remember 800, and it's in the thousands bracket. So 800. Now we have 400. Go ahead and write 400 there. So your number should look like this, and let's expand it out or slinky it out. 3 times 100 million gives us that place value. 4 times 1 million gives us that place value. Now we need this little guy. We have to plus 8 times 100,000. And then the next thing we do is 4 times 100 to get that place value. Hopefully it's clicking in your brain and you're like, I understand this, Mrs. Cox. Okay. Use this place value chart for exercises 11 and 12. Okay, the 9 is in what spot? Okay, 9. Okay, 900,000s. So we're going to say, well, 100,000s. The 1 has a value of 1 times what? Okay, where's the 1? There's the 1. There's the 1. So it's 1 times 1, 2, 3 zeros and a 1. So 1,000. 1 times 1,000. Okay, guys, we're on the home stretch. Turn to page 14, shall we? Okay. Because this book is brand new, I have quite the lump here, so we'll try the best we can. Okay, we're going to work right here with these ones right here. In the recent year, the population of the United States was 304,967,000. Write the population in word form. Okay, so break it down. This is where it's going to be handy to have this paper, because you can just write this number right here and then just mark it through. Okay, so 304 million. I would put it right here, 300 and then 4 million. So 304 million would fit right there. And please make sure you take a minute and either push pause or whatever you need to do to write this down properly. 967,000. I do want you to notice that if it's in between the commas, like 67, you need to put a little dash right here. So 967,000. That helps you understand that it goes together. And you also need to put a comma, usually where there's a comma. So 304 million, comma, 967,000. All right, the land area of Florida is 139,852 square kilometers. Write this in standard form and word form. So 2 answers here. So they want you to put this into a number. Now I saw a kid today that did this brilliantly. He had them all lined up, so all he had to do was line the zeros down and add it together and get that fabulous number. Here it is in word form. 139,000, right there. Now we're on this part. 852. And remember, you are measuring square kilometers. You always have to add square kilometers as what you're measuring in square kilometers. Okay, in this book, we have what are called brain builders. They usually require 2 or 3 steps to fill out the process. Okay, so we're gonna help you out with this. In the amount of time that American astronauts have spent in space is about 13,507,804 minutes. Is the number read as 13,578,004? Explain to a friend or classmate. You're going to say it needs to be read like this. 13,578,004. 507,804. And the reason why you need to read that is because you have to put these into little chunks, into each of their little categories. They're the millions, the hundreds, and gotta get the 800 in 4 minutes. All right, number 16, number sense. This one is kind of tricky. So let me explain to you why it is the way it is. They want you to write a number with the least value using the digits 1 through 9. You have to use all of them. So obviously you're going to put the smallest digits first, right? Because you want it to be the least value. So we do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. That is the smallest value you can come up with using all those numbers at once. And you use each one once. You have to explain your reasoning. And the reasoning is, we take this first number, 1 times a million, 100 million, equals 100 million, right? If we switched it around and put a 9 right here, it would be 9 times 100 million. And 100 million is less than this standard form, which equals 900 million. By the way, remember that's the alligator jaws. The little point points to less than. This points to the greater than. If the alligator was going to eat something, he wants to eat something that's greater for his stomach. So less than, this is how it needs to be wrote. I told you, brain boogers. We call these brain builders brain boogers because they're green. But don't worry, I usually try to help you with them. Okay, last one. Explain how you know what number is missing in the equation 3,947. Sorry for the mistake there, guys. All right, if we were to write it out in expanded form, it would look like 3,000. And then we don't have anything there for the 9 for 40 plus 7. So we realize that there's a 9 that's supposed to be in that 100 spot right there. Therefore, you know the missing digit has to have the value of 900. Okay, friends, that's great. Go ahead and get this turned in, and then make sure you do the homework.